my goal really is to see that Mahindra is represented in all of these three ends. As you know, we've been making cars which are going to serve commodity transport like the E20, which are going to be electric in the future. All transport which involves commuter movement, I think, will be electric. And we are already well represented in the lifestyle or recreational segment through our SUVs. And as you know, the world is moving dramatically towards SUVs. But we also wanted to be in the high end. And in the high end, I think it's very difficult to create a heritage brand, to create an iconic brand, which is why we invested in Pininfarina. And what we think we are doing at Pininfarina is bringing an untold story to life, or an incomplete story. The story of Battista Pininfarina, who always wanted a Pininfarina badged car. He spent his life designing Ferraris and cars for other people. But thanks to Mahindra, I hope Pininfarina will finally see a car badged Pininfarina. Ultimately, if we succeed with the Pininfarina brand, we think it will put a wonderful halo onto every kind of mobility that Mahindra does. We have what we think is the perfect bridge, and that bridge is Mahindra Racing. Unlike Formula One racing, where there's a great deal of difference between cars that are raced and cars that are driven on the street, we think there is going to be really a race to road kind of movement as far as Formula E is concerned. There's enormous development going on in batteries and motors and dynamics, and all of that cutting edge work which is being done in Formula E is going to be transferred seamlessly, certainly to high performance cars like the PF0. But all that development, I believe, will also trickle down to much humbler electric vehicles, even to our E20. Pininfarina stands for innovation, for purity, and for elegance. Those are qualities, I think, that can be transferred onto not just all the vehicles that Mahindra builds, but frankly to the entire Mahindra portfolio and to the brand. Pininfarina designs architecture, it designs boats, and we believe that if you want a business to be anti-fragile, we think things of beauty are what brings you that resistance, that resilience. No matter what happens in the world, no matter what technology enters into the building of products, things of beauty are always going to be of great appeal to consumers, and we believe Pininfarina and its design DNA is going to help the entire portfolio of Mahindra companies and indeed the brand. The group is now a very substantial of very substantial size, so this is not a risk which is an overly large one financially, but the risk is one, of course, of our reputation. But I think if you don't take such risks occasionally, you're never going to achieve anything of consequence. It's the old philosophy of no pain, no gain. When you talk about risk, in relative terms, I think the largest risk I ever took was betting on the Scorpio many years ago, though that seems a long time ago. And I don't think I've ever made a bet as big as that. So this risk is certainly not one I'm very scared of. The interesting thing is on social media, ever since we got into electric vehicles, I've constantly been asked, when are you going to make something that will rival Tesla? So I'm feeling very good, particularly this morning, because I saw the prototype model for the first time last night. I think we've finally developed a product that's going to make not just people in Mahindra, people in India, but people around the world proud. And yes, this is going to be something that is really at the cutting edge. So I'm very excited. Collaboration is certainly a way forward, and as you know, Mahindra has been doing it for many years. We've collaborated with Ford, with Renault, we are collaborating with Ford again today. So alliances, collaboration are certainly the way forward. But keep in mind, in the last 20 or 30 years, with the advent of the internet, with the advent of startups all around the world, with the porosity of knowledge, it is far easier to be able to share knowledge than it was earlier. In the old days, individual companies developed their own proprietary knowledge and then kept it within their headquarters like a fortress. That's not the case anymore today. You can look up the net and discover how to build a nuclear weapon. Building a car is much more simple than building a nuclear weapon. So we are open to absorbing technology from wherever we can get it. I think Hormuz, that we opened a research center in Detroit. We did it exactly for that reason. Because we knew that when there was a recession in the US and a lot of people losing jobs, but there was an enormous amount of knowledge in the engineers who were being laid off. And we were able to find them an opportunity to work and, in a sense, capture their DNA. And very soon, next month, the world will see the first outcome of that investment in the Marazzo that is going to be released, which was engineered completely in Detroit. So you will see the culture of Mahindra as now one that's very open, very absorbent, and very, very eclectic.